Francis Wong, the great Wong, chases sound, brings unity to the soul of all things. Love you, man.
My favorite memory of Francis has to be when I was at a performance, and I remember him and Hafez Moderzadeh coming down the aisles. They were coming down the aisles just like blowing on their horns and just playing their hearts out. And it was electrifying. It was raucous. It was joyous. It was disruptive. It was just all the things that I just remember about Francis Wong's playing. Even though he has this very passionate playing style, I feel his personality is very calm and no nonsense and very practical. And I just remember him asking him one time, Francis, you do so many different things. How do you keep it together? And he was like, Donna, if you can't keep it all in your mind without writing it down, then maybe you shouldn't be doing it. And I just kind of really took that to heart.
I first met Francis Wong when I was a first-year undergraduate at UC Berkeley. It was my first professional gig. He treated me with kindness, dignity, and respect. And it was evident to me then, as it is evident to me now, that he holds the institution of Asian American music in the highest regard. I firmly believe that it is people like Francis who ensure that creative music and cultures of color inhabit a shared future. I owe my career to him.
I remember meeting Francis back in 2016 at the Chinese Cultural Center in San Francisco. And since then, we've just been performing all over the city. And I think my favorite ones have been the performances at the Day of Remembrance Film Festival, because he has welcomed me into an amazing community of people and artists that make me feel safe to be myself. Thank you so much, Francis, for being an amazing friend, and congratulations.
Francis Wong is one of the most compassionate, creative, brilliant, innovative, generous, and enlightened beings I know. He breaks boundaries, defies what we think is possible, and is always at the forefront of ingenuity. He is a strategist, activist, a soul whose sound is genuine, empathetic, and wise beyond generations. His force and impact are deeply felt and have rippling effects. He makes the impossible possible and asks us to step forward to respond to his call to action.
One of my favorite memories of Francis is probably one of the first gigs we ever played together. It was a Chinese New Year celebration at UC Santa Cruz when Francis was teaching down there. It was myself, Francis, and Elliot Umberto Cavi on drums. I think Francis had told me that it was a casual, and so I brought a fake book because that's what bass players are supposed to do, and I was just starting out, right? And so we get down there and I get all set up and I put the fake book on the music stand and I'm kind of waiting for Francis, and Francis comes over and he looks at the fake book and he says, "What's that for?" And I said, "Well, just in case, you never know." And he looks at me and he looks at the fake book and he looks at me and he looks at the fake book and he says, "No." And he takes the music stand with the fake book, he walks over to the side of the stage, he puts it off the stage where it stayed for probably the next 2 hours. And then he comes back and he just starts playing, and Elliot just starts playing. And it was one of the best lessons, life-changing lessons that I had at that early point in my career, and I'm really grateful for it. It kind of reminds me of something I've heard Francis say recently when we've talked, that it's better to be in time than on time, right? That kind of early playing experience was a lesson in being in time and in the moment. And I'm really grateful for that. So thank you, Francis, and thank you, Hallelujah, for this opportunity to celebrate Francis. Thank you.
What I appreciate most about Francis is his clarity of thought and his clarity of communication, particularly the communication. Because he may not be clear in his thinking, but he'll be clear in telling me that he's not clear. And I can go from there. That's really most of what I need in life. Some clarity. Then I can make decisions and not regret them. That's Francis Wong.
Hey, Francis. Our memories stretch back 40 years, man. That's a long time we've known each other, and we're overdue for our annual chat. We go back to the time when you and John and Fred Ho had started Asian Improv Arts, and you were down in Stanford with a John, and we started doing benefits around town. And we went on to collaborate with two giants who we lost, Herbie Lewis and Glenn Horiuchi. Yeah, we did that recording, Devotee, at the Pine Methodist Church. But I always remember your laugh. You have the heartiest laugh that's outdone only by John Jang's raucous laughter. But I want to name you the Dean of Asian American Creative Music because you told me many years ago that you wanted to document Asian American creative music, and that's what you've been doing for the past 40 years. So, yeah, keep on, Francis. We love you. Like Duke said, love you madly. Take care.
Hey, Francis, this is Tatsu. What a celebration, man. Francis Wong and I met back in 1994. He came to Chicago and we did a recording together. And here's the album, our first duet work, Chicago Time Code. And we've been working together and playing music together for the 25 years now. But nobody sounds like Francis Wong.
Thank you, Francis, for being a caring, visionary leader. You have developed a lot of people in building different kinds of communities through the arts. Thank you, Francis, for encouraging young artists like me to follow our hearts. Like in the Isley Brothers song, it's your jam, do what you want to do. East wind blows again.
I first met Francis some years ago at the Soy and Tofu Festival in Japantown when my date then, now husband, pointed him out. I made a comment on how an incredible musician he was. I was relatively new to the Bay Area at that time, and it was during the first couple years that I had just started working with some of the Kularts projects. Fast forward to 3 years ago, I met Francis up close during my first Kularts board meeting. His leadership as the president of the board is something that I look up to this day. It made me understand even more how much of an institution Kularts have created for the community with Francis as one of the pillars of it. Francis, your wisdom has inspired a lot of ideas in pushing Kularts forward to where it is now. Maraming salamat for being a legend that a lot of people in my generation look up to. I wish you all the best, great health, and blissful happiness. Aloha and happy holidays to you and your family.
Hey, surprise! Happy Francis Wong Day! I wish we could have been able to all get together in one room with a lot of food, live music, and drinks, and be able to talk story. I mean, after 30 years, what do you think? This is all you're going to get? But, we're trying our best. So, thank you, Francis, for staying so long and being the board president and general manager and everything else that you've done for Kularts. I really hope you know that you're greatly appreciated for all the time you put in to help this organization stay alive and to move forward, to make connections, to be able to grow into the presenting organization that it is today. And I hope you know that, how important you are to our organization as well as all the other organizations that you've helped out over the years. And just wanted you to know that we love you. Gonna miss you on the board, man. Lots of love, man. Really appreciate you. And I hope you know that.